I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Entertaining a motion to approve the agenda.
I will motion that we approve the agenda.
Okay, do I have a second? Second. Any discussion, anything we need to look at or change? Nope. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, now we're on to what's the best part of the meeting, our staff and student recognition. Big crowd, which is great, lots of people doing great things. I'm gonna walk through this process as I understand it. Correct me if I'm wrong, staff. So, because we have lots of different groups coming up and down, in order for the board to be efficient and not get up and down a bunch ourselves, we've got chairs right there. So your principal will call you up, the board will come around, we'll take a picture with the first group. Then after that group, we'll sit to the side while the principal calls the next group up. We'll stand, get our picture taken, and sit back down in those chairs until they're all done, and then we'll come back to these chairs. Is that right?
Perfect.
Okay, excellent. So without further ado, let's hear about all the great things all these great kids are doing.
Hi, I'm Susie Orsborn, the Human Resources Director, and
I'm Dana Lovejoy, the Greater Albany Education Association President, and also a teacher in the district. Okay. Greater Albany Allies Stronger Together was formed last winter to continue the important work of ensuring our schools are safe and welcoming spaces for every student. The collaborative group includes members of GAEA, GAACE, and the broader community, and we've been proud to partner with our local organization in this effort. One idea that emerged from the work was to revisit the tradition of student-created posters centered on character education traits. We know that practicing respect, responsibility, and safety is foundational to creating inclusive, supportive school environments. GASP partnered with GAPS and invited students across the district to reflect on the theme, Diversity Makes Us Stronger, and to express that idea through their own artwork. The students here tonight have been selected as winners in their age categories, and their work represents not only creativity, but a powerful commitment to inclusion, belonging, and the strength of our diverse community.
so board, chair, and members of the board, as well as, it's so great to see so many students here and their parents tonight. This is a great event. What we're going to do is we're going to announce the third place winners and have them come forward, and then you'll stay up here, and then we're going to do the second place winners, and they'll stay up, and first place winners, pictures will be on a district poster, and diversity makes us stronger. I'm not going to show it very long because these are the winners. But the winners each get a copy of the poster, and then the posters are going to hang in all of our schools. And so you'll be known throughout the district of your outstanding artwork. So Dana is going to hand out. We're going to start with the third place. And like I said before, you're going to all stay up here because at the end you're going to get a picture taken with the board. Okay? And I just want to commend all of you that put in artwork, and these are the very best. So, third place for the kindergarten through second grade is Piper Wynn, a second grader at South Shore Elementary School. Stay right there, Piper. And third place for third grade through fifth grade is Margaret Hanson, fifth grader at Waverly Elementary School. And third place for the high school is 12th grader Cash Clevenger at South Albany High School. And now, second place, kinder through second grade, Reese Kissel is not going to be able to be here tonight, but he is from Lafayette Elementary School. And second place, third through fifth grade, Maya Shell from Liberty Elementary School. And second place for middle school is Shelby Thomas from North Albany Middle School. And second place for the high school is AJ Slay, a 10th grader at South Albany High School. And now for our first place winners. Before I announce the first place winners, I would like to recognize Amanda Miles, the digital arts CTE teacher from South Albany High School, because she made the poster for us and she made sure that all of the artwork was digitized in an 8x10 frame. Raise your hand. Okay, first place for kindergarten through second grade is second grader from Tangent Elementary School, Lena Batacandola. And first place from third through fifth grade is Wesley Locke, fourth grader at North Albany Elementary School. And for middle school, first place goes to sixth grade North Albany Middle School student Lena Staton. And first place for the high school goes to 11th grader at South Albany High School, Sierra Huntley. We could have all of you get really tight when the board, are you guys going to take your pictures sitting?
No, we'll be
Stand, okay.
They could probably move back a little bit so
Okay,
it's easier to
so
get the
why
photo.
don't you guys move back and put you three in the front, how's that? Okay? You guys in the front? And you high schoolers behind them and middle schoolers right here?
Who's taking the picture?
Kathy?
Oh, there she is.
Kathy
Okay.
sends up the picture, and I'll move the podium. And first place winners, you get a poster, and I haven't given it to you yet. Are first place.
Parents, if you want to get up and take a picture, you can get right behind Kathy there and get a good photo.
Congratulations to all of you.
Chair Mattingly, are you ready? Let's do it. All right. In an effort to recognize students and staff who achieve excellence in school activities and academic programs, tonight we have the opportunity to acknowledge South Albany High School's girls basketball and the dance and drill team for their accomplishments at their state tournaments. Principal Chad Angel will be sharing the details of their amazing accomplishments.
Let me begin by apologizing for our lack of attendance. Part of the joy of having multi-sport athletes is that it gets really difficult to get kids here. And right now we've got 3/4 of our basketball teams on the softball field as they're playing a game of Silverton, and the girls golf team isn't back yet from their match, and we got tennis practice going on tonight, so there was only like 2 or 3 of them that could make it, and they're like, that seems really weird to be there without my teammates, so a little awkward. But I'd like to first introduce our women's basketball team, even though they're not here. This team has been quite accomplished in the last 4 years under Coach Mark Cordell. They finished 5th, 3rd, 2nd, and this year 3rd in state, and had back-to-back Player of the Year recognition by senior Taylor Donaldson. Donaldson and fellow senior Kaylee Cordell were also first-team All-League and first and second-team All-State, respectively. Our dance and drill team, coached by Kristen Miller, it's a team that's worked hard all year to refine their skills, and they brought home 3rd-place state trophies in both the 5A traditional as well as the 1A through 5A hip-hop categories. They've also represented South Albany High School well by having a combined 3.37 GPA as a team. Thank you very much.
In an effort to recognize students and staff who achieve excellence in school activities and academic programs, tonight we have the opportunity to acknowledge West Albany High School's boys and girls basketball teams, boys and girls swim, wrestling, and dance and drill team for their accomplishments at the state tournaments. Principal Rich Engel will be sharing the details of their incredible accomplishments.
Good evening. Thanks for having us again. We had an amazing winter season. Excellence on the court, on the mat, in the pool. But beyond that, we had excellence in the classroom. They truly, all of these student athletes represent what it means to be a true student athlete. We're going to start with our swim team. Our boys team, we had 4 members that finished 4th in the 400-yard freestyle relay. I'm not sure if any of them are here, but I'm going to read their names off. We have Cade Barnes, Jake Lai, Nathan Sands, and Alec Milburn. Any of them here? Alec Milburn also finished 3rd in the 50-yard freestyle and 3rd in the 100-yard freestyle. Then for our girls team, both of these teams are coached amazingly by Bailey Dickerson. Girls team finished 5th overall, and we had several members. We had Julia Berg, that team, they finished 4th in the 200-yard medley relay and 4th in the 400-yard freestyle relay. Bethany Lawley was a member of the 200-yard medley relay, 400-yard freestyle relay. She also finished 4th in the 100-yard butterfly and 2nd in the 100-yard backstroke. JC Lai, member of both the relay teams, and Lily Olson, member of the relay teams, and also finished 4th in the 50-yard freestyle and 6th in the 100-yard breaststroke. Are any of them here tonight? We have the exact same issue that South Albany does, so I apologize for that. All right, next, let's move on to wrestling. Our girls wrestling program, we had 2 members, one that was a district champion, and both of these student athletes finished 3rd at state, led by coaches Casey Horn and Brian Barker. First district champion and 3rd place state placer, Nadia Edmiston. I know Nadia's here. And then also 3rd place state placer, Macy Manning. Is Macy here? Why don't you stay up here and then we'll take a picture with all the boys as well. So our boys team, again, led by head coach Casey Horn, who was named the Mid-Willamette Conference Coach of the Year. An amazing accomplishment, and I know if he were here tonight, he would say he could not have done that without all of his coaching staff. Our boys team finished as district champions the first time since 2007, the first one for Coach Horn. And so I'd like all members of that team that are here tonight to go ahead and come up and line up, and then I'm going to read off some individual accomplishments. We have these student athletes in alphabetical order. Justice Edmiston was a district champion and a 2nd place state placer. Finley Garver, district champion and 4th place at state. Zach Hopkins was 3rd place at state. Bo Harvey was a district champion and finished 6th place at state. Caden Stimpson was a district champion and 6th place at state. And then again, Casey Horn was the district coach of the year. Congratulations, you guys.
The board's going to join you guys for a picture.
Okay, next up, our boys basketball program led by head coach Drew Halverson. Our boys basketball team also were conference champions this year. They were led by Conference Player of the Year Jonah Lassell, who was also a second-team All-State player, and Tyson Walker, who was honorable mention All-State. All members of the boys basketball program that are here tonight, go ahead and come on up. In the gap. Congratulations, guys.
Welcome aboard. Why don't you go jump?
Okay, next up, we have our high steppers in dance and drill led by head coach Haven Barrett. This group finished as state champions in the 1A through 5A POM division and had 2 first-team All-State members who also, in addition to being first-team All-State, earned scholarships. And they are Bailey Fox and Nia Kinney. High steppers, go ahead and come on up. Where are you at, Haven? I saw you. Come on, everybody, come on. Where'd Haven go?
Oh, yeah.
They got the posing down.
And before I get to our last group, our girls basketball program, week and a half ago, Mike Parker with the Joe Beaver Show broadcast his show from West Albany, and it was to solely focus on our 2 groups that were state title winners this year. So all of the members of the girls basketball program and several members of the high steppers were able to be interviewed. And so I think that was they represented themselves, their school, and their community extremely well. And so that was a great way to promote all the fantastic happenings that are occurring here in the community. So last, our girls basketball program led by head coach Sean Stinson, who was named the conference coach of the year as well as the state 5A coach of the year. It is the first basketball state championship at West Albany, Albany Union High School, and we believe going back as far as just Albany High School. So boys or girls, first ever basketball state championship. So if all members, coaches, and team members would come up. Lola Chamberlain was a 3rd-team All-State player. Natalie Tidwell was 2nd-team All-State and was 1st-team All-Tournament. Peyton Starfall was 1st-team All-State. First team all tournament, and again, Coach Stinson, conference and the state 5A Coach of the Year. Congratulations.
That's it.
That was better than Johnny went to.
The Exodus.
And here we thought we were popular.
More, wait.
I followed the wedding pictures. Oh my goodness. Oh, it looked like it. It looked like it was amazing.
All right, let's get you logged in.
I'm gonna let it calm down. Okay, more or less calm down. That's great. Love seeing all the kids. We're on board business E. We want to talk about a work session scheduling to talk about the our LERFAC work that they've done and decide whether we should do that at the next board meeting. Oh, hey, yay!
State and Lena, don't leave because I have a poster.
Congratulations.
She's a first place winner.
Can we see? Great job.
And Lena is a sixth grader from North Albany, Maryland. And these will be all over the district with your picture.
Your name and lights.
Congratulations.
Comment on the next item.
Okay, so Superintendent Gardner, do you want to talk about the work
Yeah,
session?
just in the interest of making sure that both the LERFAC and the board approach the facility advisory committee's work in concert and in public, right? We had talked at prior times that we would take time to make sure that the board is aware of recommendations in the process and hold something of a work session. One of the things that has lengthened is the estimated time to deliver the facility plan, right? We already have a couple of meetings set up, I think in August and September. And we would be looking to then ultimately file the long-range facility plan with the state. And I want to say that's due December 1st. And so there's a little bit of time in the fall, but I don't think that the committee would be at this time, this work session, ready to hand a finished product to you. But it would be more of an update for discussions and questions. We could have a couple of the members be present as well. And we have a couple.
Yeah,
but
and I
other-
think, in the last week or two, after your last meeting, there was some buzz in the community around the board's considering this or that or the other, and the board's not considering anything because we haven't been given anything to consider yet, right?
Yes.
So I think clarifying that and then having a work session where the board could get, as a group, get a report and sort of, have that. I think that's, I won't be here for it, but I think it's probably a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I think we had talked about May 18th from 5 to 6:30.
yeah. Now you guys have an exec session after that, just as a heads up, but, okay, then I would want a motion for that, probably, to do that. Yeah. Then a motion to schedule that work session as discussed.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we have the work session as discussed on May 18th.
All right, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All right, moved and seconded. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, work session is scheduled for LERFAC discussion.
What was that time again?
5 to 6:30.
5 to 6:30.
May 18th.
May 18th, 5 to 6:30, okay. Next one is my resignation. I'm going to turn it over to Director Wilson, but just, I have to resign from the board. My health is such that I had to sell my two-story house and move to a one-story house. My wife works in Salem, and so I needed to be closer to her anyway, and so we are moving to Salem, and we're doing that on the 30th of April, so I have to resign, and it moved quicker than I thought. I thought I'd get through the school year and deal with it over the summer, but it didn't work that way. Housing market's better than I thought, I guess. So it's not for any reason. I love doing this, and I'm going to miss doing it, but sometimes health calls you in a certain direction, and you got to follow it. So you can talk about how to replace me.
Well, that's going to be a difficult go for sure. And we're going to miss you and wish you all the best.
Appreciate that.
Okay, so we have before you a sample of the last time this was done in 2020. And what we're recommending we do is get a couple of board members to work on finalizing the application process, and also to then go forward and to review the applications that will be submitted, or that actually to be letters of intent. To be more accurate, there is an application process too, but this is going to be more of a letter of intent. And then two of the board members would go through those and come to a consensus on who to recommend to fill the position, and then bring that back to the board. And it's going to be a fairly accelerated pace. We're going to hopefully try to get back and get this process resolved by the June meeting. So that means by the May meeting, we'll need to be able to have what was the May meeting? Try to, by then, yeah, go ahead. Help me out here.
So based on your conversation tonight about the process and what you want to include in the letter of interest, the two appointed board members and I will update that process, and it'll come back in May, and then it will open probably within a couple days after that, after it's approved, and have about a 2-week window is really what you're looking at. Just a reminder, you need to declare the vacancy.
Okay. I guess it's my duty to declare there's a vacancy on the Greater Albany Public School Board. And
I think it requires a motion, Brad.
what is the motion? Okay.
It's like the next
So-
item after we discuss the process.
Right. Okay, so, yeah, not quite there yet. So again, on the process, there's like 4 legal bullets that the people will have to fill out, and then there are some qualities that are listed there. And if there's any additional qualities that any board member would like to see on the letter of interest or letter of intent, we can certainly bring those forward and include those. Are there any questions on that at this time? Moving on to E2, we're seeking a motion to accept Ryan Mattingly's resignation for the at-large position 1.
Motion that we accept Ryan Mattingly's resignation for his, sorry, I just lost myself.
At-large one.
Thank you, at-large one.
I'll second.
Is there any additional discussion or comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
I'm opposed.
Me too. For sure.
Oh, thanks, guys. That's nice.
So at this time, we're seeking a second motion to declare an at-large position 1 vacant effective May 1st.
I will motion that we declare at-large position 1 vacant as of May 1st.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Point of order, may I?
Yes, sir.
Speak and present in the middle of this?
Yeah,
Okay.
of course.
So in honor of Ryan's service as board member and board chair, the district is presenting him tonight with a token of our esteem, and I'll read it. I think I can get through it. Your loyalty, hard work, dedication, and achievements may never be matched. Thank you for everything you have contributed to our students and staff. School board member extraordinaire, Ryan Mattingly.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. guys. Appreciate it. Okay. Then,
We kind of have the appointment process we're going to discuss a little bit, if I can just carry on.
Yep, go right ahead.
All right. So kind of covered this a little bit. There's the appointment process, we're going to use a letter of interest process. The timeline for consideration for appointment. There's not really a timeline requirement, but it just makes sense as we go over this in the timeline to try to get them on board for July 1st, because that would give them a full year on the board. We can even swear them in the June meeting, should we get to a decision at that time. So that's kind of our timeline, because if it doesn't happen on June to start July 1st, then it would happen in August at the earliest, because there's no July meeting. That's why we're trying to get this thing kind of wrapped up with the time we've got available. Our next step is to approve the process and timeline for appointment, so we can get that going.
Point of clarification. On this previous letter, I'm not sure if this is if this is still the policy, but policy BBE says you have to have a 20-day advertising period. Is that something we will be able to meet with the timeline laid out?
The 20-day, interestingly enough, is only for zone 1, 2, and 3, not for the at-large position.
Okay.
Which is interesting.
Good clarification.
Thank you.
That does allow us to proceed a little bit more expedited clip. So I suppose, let's see here. What we're doing is looking to get a couple of board members. Oh, I just went too far. Yes, to work on this process and to then evaluate the candidates. Do we have any interest from anybody want to be on that?
I would be happy to be on that.
Okay.
I'd be willing as well.
All right, excellent. So do we need to vote yes? So we're going to have a motion. Chris, do you want to provide a motion?
Yes, I move to appoint Sean Taylor and Stephanie Lunsford to lead the superintendent evaluation process.
That was actually, it's for the,
Oh dear.
that's all right. You skipped one, well, I did the same thing. I think what we're doing is creating a motion to have the two board members work on the vacancy, the Zone 1
Okay.
vacancy.
So
Or
how
not
about
Zone
if
1,
we
but
appoint
at-large.
Sean and Stephanie to work on the vacancy process?
I'll second.
Are we allowed to vote on it? Okay.
Yeah,
Just wanted
I
to
mean,
be sure.
yeah, it's not, yeah, it's fine. You can vote for yourself, it's okay. Is there any questions on the motion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, now I think we're moving on. Chris, did we take care of what needed to take care of? Okay. Now we're down to the,
Chris, do
we
is
have
there
a-
a superintendent evaluation?
yeah,
People,
where did that get to?
we kind of have a mix in E4.
Confused.
Because E4B does say to lead the superintendent evaluation process, but it doesn't have.
My paperwork says that that's appoint board members.
It's back here.
That's what we motioned.
Mine says board.
You don't need to do the other work right now.
2, just to do the appointment process.
For the board.
Yes, for
Okay.
the board, yes.
So
And
we're
that's
done.
what it is.
Okay, so we're all the way through E.
Figure out where you're at.
So is the leading the evaluation, I'm in the wrong place. All right. Sorry.
You've done what you needed.
Okay, we're all good through E. We're on F.
Discuss the appointment process, and then you were to appoint 2 board members, yes.
Okay.
And the evaluation process is incorrect language in the motion.
Okay,
That
okay.
was my error.
Okay, that's what threw me.
Oh, yeah,
You've done what you needed to.
Okay.
it's in the
Yep.
wrong place, isn't it?
Gotcha. So we're all done with E on to F, right? All right, on to F, district leadership team updates, please. Superintendent Gardner.
Okay, as we're getting going, want to thank Susie, who put the time in to bring that recognition into being.
Thank you.
Also want to talk a little bit about the work Susie and Kelly are doing, providing context to would-be leaders in the district. And so I was able to sit in the other night as 6 district administrators shared their experiences in school leadership with a bunch of young people who might be interested, and it was really cool. Really liked the way they spoke from their own experiences. Kylie Soa, Jessica Smith, Tristan Heisley, Taylor Smith, a couple of them are in the audience here tonight. Jody Dudera and Tabitha Cornelson, and all of them got a chance to share their own experiences with young people who are giving it some thought and asking really great questions from our teachers. And so that was great. We also had a lockdown today at Central, not a lockdown, a building secure. We kept our kids from being outside until the issue at the downtown area was resolved. And the police were great about the communications. They, I think, had also reached out to the district office to kind of, you know, we don't have secure always here, but we have don't go anywhere, right? And so we did that, and we appreciated the communication from them. A few things in the updates tonight. So last week, as everything else was going on, we were executive order for instructional time was issued by the governor. It came to the State Board of Education. And essentially, the executive order is to eliminate school districts' ability to cut days. We know that there are multiple districts in the state this year that are taking away school days in order to balance their budget. There are a couple that have reduced days this year and have already planned for days next year to do that. So we are looking at this and investigating minimum hours versus cut days if a district exceeds seat time requirements in Division 22, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But currently, our school year is set up through the Division 22 assurances from the state, and we must guarantee that we reach a minimum number of hours, 900 at K-8, 990 in grades 9 to 11, and 960 in high school. So that's a requirement that we have to assure the state that we meet every year. There has been a recent push by Stanford Children to change that formula to count only in-seat instructional time for students, as opposed to in-service days, training days, things like that. The state allows us to count up to 30 hours of in-service time, grading time, parent-teacher conference time, right? So this push has created some confusion, but they're wanting to look more like other states, which have a more instructional time is instructional time. That did not go well. The Division 22 standards remain in place after the Board of Education meeting. So that is generally what has driven this, the fact that some districts are cutting days. A decade and a half ago, when we went through the Great Recession, there were districts that went as high as 14 days. And many districts did less, and I can't remember how many we took here in Albany. Do you recall? You recall how many days were cut?
I don't remember exactly, and I would hate to say it wrong.
Okay, more than 10.
Yes.
Okay. And so if we go to the next slide, and I'll need Bruce to help me here, but if you take a look at this, this is a schematic of our hours, then our hours over. So if you take a look at kindergarten, it says 960 hours. The hours over 60 refers to the requirement for 900, right? We are just looking at instructional time here, and I'll let Bruce take you through what this means.
Okay. So what we do each year is we calculate the number of instructional minutes at each grade level, and so elementary, middle, and high. And then it's broken down a little bit further because our kindergartners don't attend the same exact instructional minutes as the first through fifth graders. So elementary and middle require students to have enough seat time for 900 hours. 9 through 11, it's 990, and 12th grade, it's 960, okay? In this calculation, we only looked at instructional minutes. We did not include parent-teacher conferences, any professional development. So this is face-to-face instructional time with students. We exceeded all grade levels, which is awesome. And it's broken out about where each group is at. Obviously, 12th grade is a little skinny. We don't have much wiggle room because they finish early. So our graduations are the week prior to the end of the school year. So they're not in school that last week, whereas the other groups are. Albany Option School, they run a trimester system. Based on that, they get more instructional time at AOS versus the other two high schools. So that works out nicely for them. Yeah, I can answer any questions you may have.
Well, I'll finish up. So this is just the pure number. If we saw the state board eventually make rules to do just student time, this is where we are. Under Division 22, there's 30 more hours of cushion in each level, right? So the 960 would add another 30 and we would be 90 hours over. It does beg the question, which is one of the great unclear things in this, is if we are over and we cut days but did not go below the limit, what would the state require us to do, right? Because most districts have cushion. It helps with snow day makeups or another emergency, but there is a lack of clarity in this yet. I think it will be resolved. They are going into rulemaking on this, and now we have a clear picture of what the governor would like to see. And I think that is happening over the next 3 or 4 months. I do think this one was very quickly done for whatever reasons. I won't theorize, but what I can tell you is by the time we add the 30 hours of staff development, because there are like seat time, if we do not have great instruction, seat time, we can do more of it without effect, right? And so we believe that keeping that in there is helpful because it further provides an incentive for us to continue to do that. And I would say that we don't have enough time for teacher training anyway to truly do it well. But that is where we sit should they move closer to just a flat instructional time. And it's also good to know in terms of if we have a snow day or two, right? So that's where it sits today.
So
Questions?
This will get done in time for us to plan year after next? Is what it sounds like to me, if you don't have any results for 4 more months. I mean, how do you
So-
plan? If they make
This has been set to where so I'll take Portland Public as an example, which perhaps led them to consider the timing of this. Portland is cutting like 5 days this year and 4 next year. They've already planned it. Those days that they have already planned, the state has said both this year and next year, you will need to file a report stating what your plan is to get to where you have 0 days, and then the 0 days comes into effect 27, 28. So there's some time, and they're also, making those people that are taking days now show a plan for how they're going to do away with cutting days. But I still don't know that if they're above the hours, that would be an issue, right? So we'll see. That's going to be worked out here in the short term.
I might be misremembering, or if I'm thinking of a different policy that I read through when they proposed this. Did it have something to do with the 24, 25 school year hours? I remember reading that somewhere in there, I thought, comparing where we're currently at to those that year. Or is that a different part of this that I'm missing?
Yeah, I think it's a different part. I think
Okay.
this is more about the recent number of days.
Gotcha.
Several districts have been caught in the middle of the year. Reynolds has taken some. Different districts have put it in their budget process. I know Canby there was an article today about Canby. So we will watch, we'll keep you guys up to date, and we'll see. But for now, they have accepted some parts of this. prohibition in the long run against closing schools. But how we're going to count instructional time, I think will come out in these rules. And there's pros and cons. So the next thing we were going to share is just a LRFAC update. At the last meeting, we engaged in discussion, and I want to make it very clear tonight, we engaged in discussion looking at our population projections and looking at the year 2030, 31, 5 years in the future, and engaged in brainstorming possible scenarios. There were, the smaller schools were definitely a primary focus in the discussion, but the ideas went far beyond just the small schools. It was a brainstorming session where multiple groups at different tables offered ideas, and more work will be coming up before it is brought to you guys, the board. We will share the work that has happened so far at the work session in May, right? So, and we can provide you as well all the background information for that. One of the challenges and one of the reasons that the long range must consider this is that we are also looking at things that buildings need. And if we put a bunch of money into a building that we ultimately know we may consolidate, that is the original sin that the citizens of a community will hold you responsible for. An example, Corvallis passed a bond in 2018 when Flow Analytics did a population projection that showed them increasing in enrollment all the way to now. When they began to talk consolidation of schools because they've seen a decline in enrollment, then people are like, why did you put that money into buildings in 2018? Even though they could not have known or foreseen what happened, but it still is a big deal to taxpayers to put money into something and then eventually to close it. Let's go to the next slide. Right now, the committee is looking at design possibilities and costing for replacement structures at South Albany and West Albany High Schools. We are working with the school principals and their staff right now to look at what a footprint might be to replace a piece of those buildings. And we're also looking at the maintenance costs of all district schools over the next 5, 10, and 15-year periods of time. Maintenance projects coming to you later in the agenda tonight represent work that was able to be removed from bond planning by using district facility funds, and Mr. Bolin and Jane will take you through that. So these things are all working somewhat in rhythm with each other. But just to give you guys the context of what we're doing there is also being discussed at the committee. Okay, that's all I have.
Okay. Andy, could you update us on the PCBs and what's going on there?
Yeah, we are working right now. We're waiting for the Department of Facilities at ODE to come out. We've been informed that they will come up with an application form. We're waiting to see what that looks like. We'll be working with both unions to come up with a plan that we would then submit on that form. We haven't seen the form yet. They're developing that. Just a quick update. We did clean room 13 at South Shore Elementary. We conducted air testing while we cleaned, and the cleaners also had on their hazmat suits sensors for PCBs. None were detected in the cleaning, which disturbed the dust to some extent. And so that was good news, but we will continue to move forward on this in other buildings.
If I may, this has been going on a bit, and I think we've got some significant testing and cleaning and perhaps some attorney fees. Could you get back to the board on kind of what we've spent
Yeah, we can share that
today,
at the next meeting.
next meeting?
Yep.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
Okay. Business report.
Good evening. So since February, when we started looking at the projected 26-27 budget, at that time, based on what I knew, I told you we were looking at a $10 million deficit. And since then, we've learned a lot. And since the March board meeting, ODE gave us the 24-25 basic school support balancing. And in that, ODE always withholds 20 million that they use to rebalance. And also they gave business managers a chance to correct any of the data. So we took advantage of that and corrected the teacher's experience report. So the net result of that was a positive 2.2 million. So we will receive that in May. That will increase our ending fund balance, which we will use to help with the deficit in 26-27. So that's partly what took that down. And also, of course, it goes both ways, up and down. We have a lot of expenditure increases. We've been working to balance our grants, move FTE that no longer fits in the grants because the cost of salaries and COLAs and steps, the FTE that are there, like the IDA grant is flat funded, had to move FTE into the general fund. So we are working on balancing out all of those grants. And we're watching the CPIU. Currently, the March CPIU was 3.1. We have our admin and our license contracts that are based on the April CPIU, 3% to 5%, whichever is the lowest. So we're watching that. And of course, increased workers' comp and liability. Our workers' comp insurance is about 500,000. And our liability insurance is over $1 million. And I was told our liability insurance will increase between 10 and 12%, so that's about 130,000. Expenditure decrease, we had some temporary FTE that we knew as we were looking at our budget. When positions became vacant, we hired them as temporary. They knew it was temporary. And so those positions have been cut from the budget. And then the SIA grant, working with Bruce and the admin team, we removed, as I had told you before, the new curriculum from that grant. We were able to move FTE out of the general fund into SIA. So the net result of all the changes right now where we're at a $4.3 million deficit. And our goal, so that we can meet the May 20th Budget Committee meeting, is to have this all figured out by May 7th.
Okay.
And then I just wanted to remind you some of the challenges that have got us here. And the biggest one, of course, is our reduced ADM, the students that have left us. And that was about 360, but the weights that we have lost equal 480, so that's 5.5 million. And that's the real cause of all of this. And that's because our poverty rating in that weight was decreased. And that was an unexpected change that cost us ADMW. And so that reduced ADMW affects our SIA grant, our high school success grant. Title I's being reduced 20% because of the poverty rate reduction and the ADM reduction. We have a little grant that deals with teacher instruction, TSI, CSI. We will not be receiving that grant for the 26-27 year. And then, of course, the cost of living and utilities, fuel, all of those things have increased our costs. So I just wanted to remind you and the struggles that have caused what we're dealing with, what caused the 4.5. And then lastly, we are working with our admin team a little bit different this year. In the past, we've met with elementary principals, middle school, and high school separately, worked through the budget. This year, we're doing it in what we call our alt meetings, and it's with all of our administrators, and we've been working together. And they have been great to give us input. And some of the examples that have come out of, we've had 2 meetings so far, was to cut the AVID contract. We would keep those practices in our schools, but we would cut the AVID costs. And summer school would be cut if we don't receive the summer school grant. And then another idea was reduce some of the teachers' training that costs us a lot of sub time. We will prioritize our training. Andy's goal, he's made it really clear, he wants to work on improving our reading and math scores, so those trainings will have a priority. And I see I misspelled training up there. Reduce FTE where student enrollment is lower, and Susie is working on that. We're looking at all of our contracts. Can we handle that work internally? And then we're looking at our school program budgets. That's the operating budgets for the schools. Can they be reduced by 5%? So just sort of an update of how we're working with our administrators differently this year. And it's been a really good process. I'm super thankful for their willingness to work hard with us. And then lastly, we're going to shift gears from budget cuts to spending money. And so as Andy talked about in the long range committee, it became really clear as Davis and team were planning all of the maintenance and projects that are before us. And we've been working the last couple of years. You know, we had some roofs that PACE insurance said if you don't replace those, we will not cover any water damage. So we're still working on taking care of that. But I wanted you to know the funds for those projects are restricted dollars for capital projects. So we're using remaining bond dollars, which currently is a $3.2 million fund. And we have a capital projects fund that currently has $2.6 million in it. 1.5 this year through resolution you transferred from the SB 1149 fund into the capital projects fund. And the balance in that capital project fund has been transferred from the general fund over the 3 years that I have been here. And now I'm going to pass it on to Dave to explain the projects. Before I do, any questions for me on any of that?
So I won't go into detail with all these different projects. I gave you an executive summary that was in your packet that kind of went into detail. I want to give you a little bit of context. So over the last year, the Long Range Facilities Committee has really helped us narrow down these projects to prioritize. So one of the activities we have done is done immediate needs, intermediate need, immediate needs 1 to 2 years, 3 to 5, and 5 to 10. And the committee's been working through that process. Also looking at this, this is a continuation of some of the work that Jane mentioned we did last year with the roofs. So the next roof to kind of knock off was at Timber Ridge, a roof over the office area, and you'll see that in the executive summary. So keeping in line with that, also a lot of these areas are compliance, risk prevention, items like that that raised up really high in the long range list as needs across the district.
So the Timber Ridge roof is less than 20 years old. Is that normal to need repairs on it already?
Well, you have to remember back, and I wasn't here at the time, but there was a settlement with that roof.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, there was a settlement for improper insulation, and so there's been some repairs done to it in certain areas over the office. There's some lower pitch angles that are there, and we've done some repairs and they've failed. So this would be a replacement with a tin roof that would fix those issues permanently.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So some of these areas also, just to mention, are some of our most used spaces in the district. Also, the fields have done, and I included in the packet, we had a third-party evaluation done on those fields, and they are end of life. Great details in that report that they gave us, and they made some good points in that as well. One of the things that Jane and I have been working towards is having a fund now established. So 10 years from now, there should be funds, if we keep putting them in there, to replace these turf fields when the time comes next time. So coming to your next slide. Thanks, Jane. So in new business coming up, these are all under cooperative purchase agreements, the fields and the Timber Ridge roof. And then I'm still getting quotes and things for the West Albany Pump Station, Liberty Windows project to bring you next time. So I'm still in process with those.
Dave, on the Liberty Windows project, what are your goals on there? Are you gonna have tinted windows or, because we've got that huge south facing, and it's been a problem for as long as I've been on the board.
Yeah, so they're UV type rated windows that we use across the district. We're gonna separate that project to do south and the north side as two different depending on funding. That number there was for both sides. We may end up doing just one and not the other, but we may just knock out the whole thing if we're there.
Are we taking on any of the shading or anything to try to keep the sunlight from getting in the classrooms and causing them to get so hot?
Well, we hope that when we put in the new windows, we're not gonna need that shading up anymore. The ugly shading that's there, that's the whole point of putting in these windows. I've heard great things about the windows that they're putting in there as far as keeping the heat out of the rooms. So we're hopeful that we wouldn't have to do that.
Okay.
If we do, we probably try to put up something that looks a little bit better and more permanent, not what we have there now.
Yeah, I feel for the teachers. I've been in those classrooms, and the air handling has helped massively, but it's
Yes.
still not quite there.
Yeah.
You know, the classroom at Liberty that's all the way to the west on the south side was a special classroom. And as part of the deal to make it a special classroom, I did something to the windows to mitigate the heat. So just make sure those windows haven't already been done. Take a look at them. Because I had to do something, I don't remember what it was, but I remember it wasn't cheap.
Okay,
For that, as part of that special program right there, so,
all right.
yeah. All right, next thing. Is that it for our leadership team? Okay, then we are on to board member reports. Any board member reports? Got our LRFAC stuff?
Not anything that hasn't already been discussed, but just seeing the numbers that have been presented, both for projects and for attendance and where we're at in all of those areas. And just working with our tables and our groups, having different discussions each month, each meeting, how that goes in terms of what potential priorities and potential solutions are. I know the day after our last meeting, there was a city meeting in Tangent to discuss some of the things that were discussed in that meeting. And it was good to hear people from that community talk about it and their interests and their feelings on it. They're still we're in the discussion phase, and at least in that committee, not in front of this board, doesn't even have some of the information Stephanie and I have. So just trying to build a good base there to bring to you guys later.
Okay.
I think I would also add that in our small groups, a lot of the concerns that you saw on Facebook from different people or on different social media platforms, we were discussing those in our small groups. So those are the same concerns we all had in the room, just wasn't what was on the presentation itself.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
That's good. I mean, that's what the committee's for, right? And if the
Yeah.
discussions are mirroring with the community, then we're on the right track, so. Okay, good. Any other board?
I'm just really pleased to see interest in what you're doing. Because I figure if they watch the process, there won't be so many surprises. And you know, it's just very, very good to see the interest.
Yeah.
I just want to add that we benefited at the Tangent meeting. We had an advanced team of 2 committee members, Liz Craig and Dana Lovejoy, went down and were able to engage with people prior to the meeting. So thank you for that.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I wanted to give a special shout out for a job well done to Evan Podrobsky. He's the one who has single-handedly taken our video from the 1980s and brought it to the current century. The video production on our board meetings has been vastly improved. So I wanted to make sure he got some recognition for his hard work on that. And Evan, you're probably in the back room, probably turning red, but thank you very much for doing this. Appreciate it. And also to my friend Ryan, I wish you all the best. We're all going to miss you. We're going to especially miss your expertise. You brought to the board some incredible insights with your being here over the 30 plus years you were at the district?
Now 15.
15?
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like 30.
Yeah.
But, but you've really helped us out with some understanding in some areas that we didn't have the expertise, and you brought that to the board, and wish you all the best, and please keep in touch.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Like I said, I'm gonna miss doing this, and I like doing it, and I like, sharing my expertise. So it is bittersweet to have to leave. So
You could always leave a public comment.
that's true. I could
Call in.
Call it in. Yeah. Do the online. Sure. I will say one thing, that came out of this meeting, the LURFAC being online like that, the transparency is great. Like the transparency from this district has come light years just in the couple of years I've been on the board, and that wasn't because of me, but I've watched it happen, and I think it's really helpful. I think that helps us move forward with making tough decisions when everybody has all the information. So, okay, let's move on to student reports. It looks like it's just you, Skylar, and you and South.
Yep, actually, Zion did share with me her reports. I would like to.
Oh, good. I didn't think there was one. Excellent.
Yeah, no, she's at a choir concert currently, so filling in for her. So for April, she wants to start off with the state champions. As we saw, the girls basketball team won state for the first time in West Albany history. The High Steppers, the dance team, won state with the prom routine and undefeated all year. And spring sports have started with the next home games. Boys tennis, April 23rd versus Lebanon. Girls tennis, April 21st versus McKay. Softball, April 24th versus Central Falls City. Baseball, April 22nd versus South. Track and field, April 21st versus Central, McKay, and Silverton. Boys lacrosse, April 27th versus Sprague. And girls lacrosse, unable to get scheduled. The takeover games have been a success, started this year by their ASP president, Dima Stein. I think it's Dima Steen. I don't really know how to pronounce it.
You're right.
Stein? Okay, thank you. And the goal was to bring football energy to the sports that usually don't have a big crowd. The next takeover is this Tuesday for track. Performing arts with Frozen, on a recap on that, the largest West Albany production yet, selling out about 3 to 4 shows, the largest student staff night ever as well. It was very successful overall. Choir revived state qualifying scores during league, entering their scores into the pool to see if they will be picked for the state championship. The Wind Ensemble has won every festival they participated in. They won league, scored between 80 and 85 from all judges. 53 out of 60 for sight reading. That's pretty good. Will participate in state on May 15th. Performance time is to be decided, probably in the evening. Jazz also won districts in league, and will go to state on May 9th, most likely to perform in the morning, but is also to be decided. For the state solo and ensemble competition, 5 ensembles qualified, all band, 7 soloists, 6 band members, and 1 choir. And for the solos, it will be May 1st and ensemble May 2nd. Other campus activities, old school dance. The weekend of the 9th, a dance where they play throwback music and everyone dresses up like a past decade. Largest old school attendance post-COVID, if not ever. The Black Student Union attended the African American Youth Leadership Conference, with senior Tyson Walker receiving a $1,000 scholarship for the NAACP for attending LBCC. And for publications, lastly, spreads from their yearbook were featured in the Possibilities book, a company that produces their yearbook. Top 10% of the products are featured. And that's all I have for her. My turn. So, from South Albany, on the state level, as we heard earlier, girls basketball took 3rd in state. Cheer took on 4th in the small 5A traditional. And dance, also as heard, got 3rd in the 5A traditional and 3rd in hip hop. Also, I'd also like to mention percussion band competed at the WGI World Championship, getting a score of 81.713, which is pretty awesome according to their band teacher, Miss Paniagua. I'd like to speak of one college commitment, Maddie Angel going to University of Texas, San Antonio for volleyball. I'd also like to mention the policy, some other policy news. The dance contracts. which were enforced just this year. It's a good reminder for students, especially seniors, to maintain or achieve a good standing to go to dances such as prom or graduate. Now back to athletics. Varsity softball are 4-3 facing West tomorrow at 5. Varsity baseball went to Arizona to train and compete against other teams, are getting better every day. Boys and girls tennis is underway halfway through the season, building up to districts in mid-May. Boys and girls track sprinters are doing great overall, along with throwers and jumpers finding consistent improvement. However, the girls sprinters, I'd like to mention, San Diego State commit Fairleigh Dixon and sophomore Karis Redmond are breaking meet records with almost every meet. Arts and activities, choir has placed podium with every competition they've been involved in on their way for their 20th in a row OSAA State Championship on May 8th. Ascend Acapella is getting ready for the State Chamber Festival in Gresham. The theater troupe went to the State Thespian Festival in Salem, getting the title of Honor Troupe for its service to the community, along with 2 students getting scholarships for their work throughout high school. The theater is opening Little Women, the one-act edition, on May 8th, going until May 16th, 2 weekends, at the Monteith Historic House, downtown. Tickets are live and very limited with a space available. Choir will have 2 more concerts with Albany Sings on the 18th of May, and their final Pops and Alumni concert celebrating their director, Brett DeYoung, on his 25th year at South Albany High School on May 28th. For school events, we have an incredibly busy May between the start and until graduation. We are prepping for AP exams, the prom, which is themed A Night in the City of Stars, also based off of La La Land. Awesome movie. We have homegoing week of May 11th, Avid Signing Night, 8th grade parent night, scholarship night, senior breakfast and sunset on the 28th. Macho volleyball and power tough after Memorial Day weekend, and the graduation on the 2nd, and the last day on the 11th. That's all I have for South Albany. However, I do have one more thing to say. Because I have the Albany Sings concert on the 18th, I will not be here for the May board meeting, so this will be my last one. I want to thank everyone in the board and the admin at my school for this opportunity to represent my school and my community and speak about the great things my school and its students have accomplished. It's been more fun than I expected and even inspiring. Seeing the hard work, thriving programs, passion held by these principals and their staff, and seeing how the sausage gets made has inspired me to heavily consider pursuing education in my future. As someone who also holds a passion for helping others, especially younger people, discover and thrive in their potential, I hope to honor my teachers and mentors by carrying their legacies with me. I do need to leave soon, but I thought I'd mention this fact that will help you understand the heat of my said pursuit. Today, I received an email from the Gates Foundation, an organization committed to helping highly excelling high school senior students realize their full potential by providing a last dollar full ride to a 4-year institution of their choice for their entire undergraduate career. And a pool of 61,750 seniors across the nation are chosen. I'm ecstatic to announce I have received this full ride scholarship.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks so much. And I thank them for this opportunity. I don't want to take more time from your business, but I also want to recognize that all of you, the board, my school's administration, and especially my teachers from across my GAPS journey, and especially South Albany High School, have helped me immensely in leading me to this moment. I thank you for all of your aid. So because I don't have my sunglasses or pyrotechnics lighting the room, I'll just take my leave so I can go celebrate with my family in honor of my work. Again, thank you for everything, and I hope you all have a good rest of your night.
Really enjoyed having you on the board, Scarlett, and I want to point out that among our student board members, I appreciated that you would ask questions when you had them from our You know, that's not something we've seen out of students a lot, and I think it added to our meeting, so appreciate that. Thank you, and good luck.
Your participation was really good. I've enjoyed listening to you.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
Skylar also serves on our District Equity Council and has brought a lot to the table there as well. Congratulations.
Thanks so much.
John Schuyler.
Congratulations. Okay. We are on to community and school presentations. Mr. Schmidt.
At this time, I'd like to welcome Principal Rich Engel to present on West Albany High School and its illustrious team.
Yeah, I'm not doing this all by myself. It is an illustrious team. Jessica Smith, Sean Saxton, Tristan Heisley, our full admin team. I know Assistant Principal Week was earlier in the month, but they are the best of the best. And so brought them tonight so that they can help out with this. Really appreciate the opportunity to come in again this year and to talk about the amazing things that are happening at West Albany. Again, just to remind everybody, our mission is to graduate culturally responsible students empowered to achieve college and career success. We'll go in, Jessica's going to talk a little bit about some of the things that we're doing in that realm. So, like everybody, we have 3 goals that we are focused on, and they're all tied together. Top goal, we need to graduate our students. We set very lofty goals that we want to graduate 100% of all of our students. We kind of tweaked it a little bit for this year that all students from the 22-23 cohorts, or this year's seniors, 100% of those students will graduate with either a regular, a modified, or an extended diploma. The extended diploma, just to remind everybody, is not recognized in our overall graduation rate that the state puts on a report card, but it is a recognized diploma by the Department of Education. And so for our students that is what their abilities allow them to achieve, we want to acknowledge and celebrate them. As you can see, our trend, we have consistently been in that 95, 96% range. Dating back to 2017, we've averaged right around 95% graduation rate every year. Would be remiss without acknowledging Mrs. Orsborn and her role in establishing that strong culture and continuous improvement that happens within our building. We're able to do this through a lot of different work. We provide a lot of interventions, and we've started some new ones this year that Tristan will touch on. But we have one of our social studies teachers that does a senior study skills class, and he's amazing. He believes in the absolute best in every one of the seniors that are in his class, and he comes in my office almost every week and is like, "Ah, Rich, don't worry about him. I got him. Don't worry about him. Kyle, I'm worried about him. No, don't worry. I got him." Credit recovery courses, obviously we utilize Odyssey Ware, which is our district recognized credit recovery program, but many of our departments have also developed Canvas shell courses that they can monitor. So our American government courses, students that maybe don't have quite enough, if they earn an incomplete, they'll do sections of the course. Those that fail, like in the first semester, they'll redo the entire course through the Canvas shell with Mr. Hall in a senior study skills class. And then we have ongoing regular parent meetings. Some of them are weekly, some of them are monthly. It depends on the needs of each of the individual students. And I would tell you, senioritis, and I think Chad would probably agree, senioritis is in full swing right now. And so we've got about 6 weeks to really try to make sure that all of our senior students are getting through. We do regular check-ins, data review with our admin and our counselors. We meet weekly with our counselors. Again, our counselors are by grade level. They stay with their students for 4 years. We've actually started doing that with our administrative team. Tristan has freshmen, Sean has sophomores, Jessica has juniors, and I have seniors. So we're monitoring their progress over that 4-year span, moving up with them so that we're able to establish those really strong relationships, not only with the students, but with their families as well. And then lastly, and I can't emphasize this enough, we have an amazingly committed staff. And that's not just the staff that are teaching students in the classroom. That is our office staff, our food service staff, our custodial staff, our daytime custodians are helping us do supervision in the commons during lunch every single day. They are a part of the fabric of West Albany and a part of that strong culture that we have. So that's goal number 1.
All right, good evening. I'm going to talk about our 9th grade on track, which is our second goal. You can see our trend on the side, on the right side there. We had several years where we were at 83% on track, and then the last 2 years we jumped up to 87% on track. So we decided this year we were going to shoot for 90, which is very lofty, but we were hopeful we could get there. At the end of the first semester, we were at 82% of our 9th graders on track, but typically it's lower first semester because it takes a little while for 9th graders to figure out how high school works. So we're hopeful we'll close that gap by the end of the school year. And why it matters, we know that students who are on track at the end of 9th grade have a significantly better chance of graduating from high school. And so it's super important. We have a lot of action items that things that we're doing to try to improve our 9th grade on track. So we have a 9th grade success team that meets monthly. The team's kind of morphed over the years, but we have a team of about 8 people now. We're doing a cohort of students, and we have those cohort students, so it's about 90 kids that go to their English, math, and science classes together, and we're kind of tracking their data against the data of the whole school. So all those teachers are a part of that success team, and we talk about individual student progress, and we also talk about systemic changes that we can make to make 9th grade better for students. We have regular admin and counselor meetings with students and families. We've had a lot of them recently, checking in with families, and then consistent check-ins throughout the year as well. Bulldog 101 is a year-long study skills class that all 9th graders take, and it's part like a study hall to help get homework help, but also we teach them a lot of crucial skills that they need, not just for high school, but also to be successful in life, like self-advocacy, how to study for tests, how to send professional emails. Just kind of every week there's a different topic for them to learn about to help them be successful later on. And then the one thing we're really excited about is we started a math-focused intervention this year for students who are 2 or more grade levels behind in math. And in that intervention, we have 4 classes of that. And so we use their 8th grade iReady data, and then we have them test 3 times throughout the year. They get help at their level that they're testing at, but they're also getting support in Algebra 1 from those teachers to kind of shore up their skills at the high school level as well. And we've seen some really good data out of that so far, and hopefully by the end of the school year, we'll see even better data. So,
Tristan, can you please comment on the work you've done with the Center for High School Success and sharing that information?
Like presenting it?
Yeah.
Yes, I did present at the Winter Regional Conference about it, yes. So we saw, we had students take the diagnostic test in December, and the students that were in the math intervention grew by 1.2 grade levels in the first 3 months of the school year. And so we're very excited about that, and that was in comparison with the students who were not in the intervention who grew at 0.37, so significant difference. And if we have to close that gap somehow, and so we're hoping by the end of the year we'll see 3 grade level change for those students. So yeah, it's goal number 2.
Is that portable to the middle schools, whatever that was? Like,
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, well, you would know.
Yes.
Okay.
That's kind of where we came up with it.
Right, okay. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, our third goal is about attendance rates, and it is directly supporting goals 1 and 2. So more specifically, we're hoping to increase our regular attendance rate from 71% to 75%. So a regular attender is a student who attends at a 90% rate or higher. So it has been shown time and time again that students who are regularly attending school, attendance is a top predictor when it comes to graduation and success at graduating. So students who are regularly attending are significantly more likely to stay on track academically. They're more likely to build stronger connections at school, and they're more likely to be able to access the supports that we have available. Obviously, if they're not at school, none of those things are happening, right? So to reach this goal, we're taking a proactive and data-driven approach. So that includes twice monthly attendance meetings where we get all of our administrators, counselors, our registrar, and our attendance secretary together, and we discuss individual students as well as attendance data as a whole. That guides where we put resources into supporting individual students as well as interacting regularly with the parents of students who we're not seeing in class as often as we would like. We are also focusing more on incentives for positive attendance as opposed to punitive measures for students who are not attending as much as we would like. So currently our regular attendance rate is sitting at about 72%, which is a minor improvement and a step in the right direction. But also 90% of our students are attending at a rate of 80% or better. So, which is well above the state average.
All right, my turn. Thanks for having us tonight. So some things that we're really proud about with our college and career readiness. There's a lot of things that we do there for current practices, but we have the Career Foundations class just like South Albany does this year. That's been phenomenal. So all of our sophomores are receiving college and career guidance in that class. We also have a college and career center ran by Teresa Davis. She's fantastic. She's the one who's bringing in colleges for visitation. She takes like the wish list from the seniors, tries to get as many of them in as she can, and then they get to come out of class and go visit with the college that they're interested in. She also hosts a lovely guy named Levi from LBCC every single week. He's been coming for at least 2 years, where he helps our students navigate registering at LB. He talks about the Oregon Promise. He helps them with their FAFSA. So there's a lot happening in that College and Career Center. That doesn't even include all the scholarships she's helping kids with, all of the job opportunities, volunteer opportunities. So that's a huge gold mine in our building. And then also our dog teams curriculum, that's our advisory. We focus on college and career readiness in our dog teams. And so that's where students are going to do things like their 6-year plan. They're going to be looking at their transcripts and trying to understand where they're going and what they need. They choose a CTE career pathway and focus on that. It's where we talk to students about registration to make sure they're keeping their college and careers at the center of what they're planning for in terms of classes. And in terms of next steps for the future, we really want to improve the systems we already have in place. And so Tristan and I kind of head up dog teams, and that's a big lift. And so we're always thinking about how we could do that better and provide more opportunities for students, like we use U Science and Oregon CIS, and how we can improve that. Still trying to connect with as many colleges and universities as we can. Avid goes on field trips. We try to bring as many people into the building as we can. And then always trying to improve our CTE opportunities for our students. All right, and then CEL implementation. I'm not sure if you guys have heard a lot about the Center for Educational Leadership and the 5 dimensions of teaching and learning, but that's our focus in terms of our observation tool this year. We started that last year, so we're really, we surveyed our staff at the end of last year, had them rank themselves on all the dimensions and talk about where they thought that they needed the most growth. And I think all but 2 staff members identified student engagement and assessment for learning. And so we focused on that school-wide, and we really dove into how we could improve our PLCs in order to make that happen as well. And so student engagement questions and assessment questions became the inquiry for PLC work. And so we did a lot of PD training around that. For our all-staff PLC, we cover a different dimension every time we meet, and we review that because we don't want to just have a one and done. We want to keep growing. Have we really done over 300 observations? We've done so many observations. Because we're trying to see everybody 6 times. And so that's using that new tool and trying to give feedback in all the dimensions. And yeah, we're just always focused on continuous improvement. We're never settled. Our floor is, I messed up saying it. Our ceiling becomes our floor for the next year. That's mine.
All right, so we are incredibly proud of our students, of our staff, our community of support that we have at West Albany. We, being the original high school in town until 1972, we've got that strong connection with the entire community. Again, referring back to our graduation rate average of 95.5% dating back to 2017, I say it every year, we could not do that without the cooperation and the collaboration we have with Albany Option School and Mark Hannon, and then really happy to have the connection this year with AVA and Jana and Sylvia Sorensen. That has been a very big improvement for both West and South and the offerings that we can provide to our students. We always have a growth mindset that is throughout our entire building. Students, staff, families, we know, as Jessica said, our ceiling becomes our floor, and we know that we can always get better. As we talked about in the fall, we talked about earlier tonight, we have multiple winning programs. But again, more importantly, they are true student athletes or performing art students. And the student is the driving factor for each one of them. We have top-notch teaching and support staff, and just amazingly resilient, caring, and involved student body. A week and a half ago, so this was our year for accreditation, and that is a very arduous process of providing a lot of information. And so we went through the initial interview process, and they interviewed students, staff, parents, and then we had our exit brief interview with our evaluator a week ago, this last Friday. And I want to show this next slide. Out of those interviews with the students, staff, and families, they asked one question to all those groups. What's one word that you can use to describe West Albany? And she created this word art thing, and couldn't have picked it better. Passion, family, awesome. I'm not sure where wild came from, but hey, whatever it takes. It's a high school, that's true. And it's on there more than once, isn't it? Yeah. But we are just incredibly proud. Our entire West Albany community dives in fully to make sure that our students have everything they have. Our district helps support us tremendously. And through this process, she couldn't tell us our scores. We'll get the written report here in about a month, but she was able to tell us that we will be a school of merit. And so we take great pride in that. And I think that's all we've got. Questions?
I do. I wanted to put Tristan on the hot seat because.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Come on up, buddy. You did some fantastic stuff with math and math intervention. And Ryan kind of alluded to it, can we scale this to the middle schools? And Mr. Superintendent, I'm going to ask that we take a look at that because that was incredible. No, get that in. Project, is what we're going to call it. That's an incredible feat that you're able to do that and have a control group to prove what you did. And so from where I'm sitting, that's something that we really need to implement, and soon. We have students that need to get caught up in math. It's been lagging across the district, and I'm hoping your homegrown program is going to be the solution to that. So thank you very much, and I just created some more work for you. So go forward and conquer.
Okay. I do have to say it's really the hard work of the teachers.
Of course. Yes.
It was a process working through it with the math department last year, talking about it for several months leading into it and figuring out how we wanted to do it. And it was with a lot of their input that we came to the program that we're doing. So
Tristan, can you share how many math teachers are working on that?
we have 2 math teachers and a science teacher doing it, and they're teaching 4 classes total. So
And you think this can be scaled down to middle school? Can it be scaled down to grade school?
I don't know about that, but I do have a lot of experience at the middle school level, so I know that it could work there as well. Yeah.
That would be incredibly huge, and I think that helping with the 9th grade on track, if we can get to those students earlier, the work you have to do in 9th grade becomes reduced and you can focus better.
Exactly.
I mean, so I really think that would be so helpful.
Yeah. And our math department liked it so much that our geometry teachers adopted a similar program for 2nd semester. So Rich carved out a period that we could do it with geometry students as well. So it's pretty cool.
Fantastic. Well done, everyone. Appreciate that.
I was curious how many, is working with one grade and following them all the way through a new thing? Or is that something you've been doing for a while?
We just started doing that. We used to be kind of at the level and would stay. So Jessica's with freshmen for 7 years.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a long
So
time.
really, we did this to help Jessica.
Yeah, well, that's a good reason.
But our counselors have always stayed with their students on the way through. And so we're doing it freshman, sophomore, junior, and then I always have the seniors because I want to be able to have that touch point with them senior year and know who's on track, who do we need some extra support with.
It seems like a really good way to keep relationships constant and keep
Absolutely.
up to date with kids. I'd be curious to know if you think it's a big improvement in 3 or 4 years. So
Yeah.
I'll try to remember that question.
Gladly share that back.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Any other questions? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank
Great
you.
job.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to introduce Principal Jana Pierce to describe the Albany Virtual Academy and some of the changes that she's led over the course of the year.
Great, thank you.
Did you stealth change the name and I missed it, or what?
Stealth.
It was
We
called
did.
AOL before.
It
Now
was. And here we are. I'm going to tell you all about it.
Okay, can't wait to hear.
So yes, I had the privilege in August, kind of late in the game, of taking on what at the time was Albany Online. And we have spent this year looking at our programs, our systems, the way we serve students, and the way we serve staff. And we've made some changes, and I'm going to tell you all about that. So AOL was started in 2013, 2014, and it had 27 students. Their largest enrollment was, of course, during COVID, when they were up to 850 students at the time. Since then, and currently, we average about 250 students. When these slides were made, we were at about 274, and this includes full-time and part-time students. So students can come to us either full-time, or they can also come to us in a hybrid model where they do part of their schooling at school in the building and part of it with us. And that can look a couple different ways, and it's all dependent on what the kiddo needs. So some students, for instance, mostly our elementary students, will choose to go to their boundary school for specials. They show up for music or PE, whatever they have that day, and then they do their core classes with us. For secondary students, it looks a little bit different. They can do core classes with us and electives online, or electives in person, or they can do electives with us and core classes in person. And we work that just individually with each of the kids based on what they need. Previously, they've always had 1 to 2 teachers, a registrar, and a part-time administrator. Right now, we have 2 teachers. So we have Amanda, who teaches our K through 5, and we have Sylvia, who does 6 through 12. We also have Wendy, who's the registrar extraordinaire and who has carried us all this year, because Amanda, Sylvia, and I were all brand new. And so it was up to Wendy to make sure that we kept the ball rolling, and she was the brain behind making sure everything worked and that we got it all going. And then I'm there technically about 25% of my time is spent helping at what was Albany Online and is now Albany Virtual. So looking at this year, I came into it really knowing very, very little about the program, but with a willingness to learn and an openness to see what we could do to help. I started off just asking what's working for people, what's not working, and then we dove in to see what we could do to make things better. So one of the very first things that started, actually before I got there, it started about this time or a little before last year. Bruce and the people who were at AOL at the time started looking at what we could do to offer a second online program. So in Oregon, in order to deny transfers that are over our 3%, we have to have 3 options. So we have brick and mortar, and we had K-12, which is the platform that Albany Online was using, and they began researching what could be a third platform, and they selected Ed Options. So Ed Options has been our second platform, which is our third option for families. And so starting this year, any families who requested a transfer out of our district were instead offered these 3 options and a chance to remain with us. Looking at the right, you can see a graphic kind of shows our current enrollment. Obviously, most of our students are 6 through 12, but we do have a few K through 5 as well. So staff have really used this year to learn the new platform, really to learn both platforms, because like I said, we were all brand new to AVA this year. So we have onboarded both teachers and myself, and we've kept enrollment going, and we've grown as well this year by about 50 students over last year. This is just an example of what we started with in August. We really started working on reaching out to families and reaching out to staff. A lot of our students, almost all, come to us via the building. Very few come to us on their own from homeschool or somewhere else. Almost all of them come to us through their buildings. And so the first thing that I did was just work on clarifying with the buildings who we were, what we could offer, how we would offer it, and how they could access us. So we had new flyers that were printed out and sent to administrators and to counselors. We had, it included our LBCC options, and then we created a course/program handbook so that people would know. A lot of these pieces were in many different places or didn't exist at all. And so a lot of our work in August and September was really just clarifying for staff and students what their options were and how they could access us as the first barrier to students being able to come to us. The last thing we want to do for a variety of reasons is lose students. And so really our goal was how could we help retain students that we already had by giving them an alternate learning opportunity that maybe better fit their needs at the time. Because we do have students who come to us for a semester, a quarter, even at times, depending on their needs. And those can be academic needs, those could be medical needs, those could be family needs, and we're just here to serve them in those variety of ways. So we created the Albany Virtual Academy program guide. We created a handbook that all district employees would have access to, and we really, my teachers went out and met counselors, showed them what we had, clarified the forms, clarified expectations, offered an FAQ, offered what we had for expanded options, and really tried to just educate staff first and foremost on what we could do to serve them and help with these kids who maybe needed a bit of a different option. And as part of that, we started looking at how we could rebrand within the community. So first we wanted to reach staff and make sure they understood our program, and then we want to reach the community and make sure they understand our program. So one of the most confusing things about AOL was it sounds a lot like AOS, and it also sounds like an internet provider. So when people were trying to find us, we would get a lot of cross mail, we would get a lot of people who didn't understand that we were different. So we wanted to differentiate ourselves from AOS and AOL, the company, and try to rebrand with the community. So the first thing we did was we just asked the families that we already had, what could we do? What do you like? What sounds good to you? We offered up some options. There's 2 options there on the bottom. We offered up options of names. We offered up options of program colors, and let them vote. And the one on the right, Albany Virtual Academy with the red, dark red and gold, is what the staff and the students and families voted for. And so then we worked on revamping that, changing everything we could find that said AOL, and I'm sure there's still lingering things somewhere.
I did not like the colors that were chosen because it reminds me of a certain parochial school in the Portland public area that I competed against for many years, but I was outvoted.
But he was outvoted, so.
But you gotta love the owl.
The owl's wonderful.
Owl, I know.
Yeah.
We really tried to find a mascot that no one else was using, colors that no one else was using, so that we weren't stepping on anybody's toes and we could really start to differentiate ourselves. We bought a new logo. You can see, so AVA offices are located in the basement of Central, or the garden level as we like to call it, of Central Elementary. And gave them a new logo for their windows so that people could see it. We do have families who come in to visit, and so we provided some signage in the school, provided some signage on the outside that we did get approval for with the Historical Commission, like it's all okay. And just so that people would know, and so people could start to see us, and we could really start to make our presence in the community known on a broader scale. And that's something we're still continuing. So one of our next steps is, now we've got the people in the community hopefully starting to know, we're going to reach out to the people we have lost connection with. So we're going to be working now through July to do a promotional campaign. I'm going through LBL to get our homeschool list of students we've lost to homeschool, students who have just kind of disappeared into we don't know where, approved transfers who have left us to go to other online programs. And all of those people will be targeted by our mailing campaign and by our social media campaign. We're gonna reach out to them with what we have now to offer. When they left, I know for most of them when they left, we didn't have these opportunities. So we're gonna reach out to them with what we have now, what we can offer, why we would love for them to come back and join us as part of their district where they live. These are all people who live here, and we would love for them to come join us as their education provider in whatever that may look like for them. So some ways we're going to do that besides inviting them, we have 2 programs we can offer, but we're also improving our customer service and our outreach. So we reach out now personally to every family that we deny. So getting a denial letter isn't maybe what they wanted, but the amazing Wendy Marks reaches out to them all personally, talks to them, encourages them with what we have to offer, and we've been able to retain a large percentage of those students to stay with us. We also have started in-person onboarding with all families, so even though they're virtual, we invite them into our space, we show them how the platform works, we provide them with a Chromebook if they need it, we show them where tutoring can be offered, we do have a classroom at Central, and we really just invite them into our little Ava family and encourage them to participate with us in whatever way that looks. We offer newsletters for them. These are some pictures of our kids on field trips. So we offer monthly field trips that they're able to join if they would like with our staff. We offer in-person or online tutoring. And then again, we're just really trying to fit their needs to our program. So hybrid, fully online, whatever they need, trying to really meet families where they're at. What questions do you have for me about Ava?
A comment. I wish this had been available to kids with longer-term medical needs when I was teaching. It would have been wonderful.
Yes, that is a piece of who we serve, and it really is an excellent opportunity for them to still engage in school in whatever capacity they're able, and then fulfill the rest of their requirements with us. Yeah.
So the district has lots of people, not lots, but has people that reach out around attendance, right? FACT or counselors, attendance officers. Are they all up to speed on this program as a potential solution?
Yeah, I work with Shanna Turner. She reaches out a lot with kids who may, need something similar, and we work with them. We do still say you still gotta show up,
right.
And sometimes that's the hardest part. But sometimes it's easier if it's on their terms. They can do it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if they want to work nights or they want to work weekends, all of that's available to them. And so we're able to provide that in any capacity that they're willing and able.
Yeah, it would definitely
engage.
depend on the underlying reason for the attendance.
Correct.
But this would certainly solve some of those.
Yeah,
Right, not
and
all
we've
of
seen
them,
some
but-
really good results. We had 2 high schoolers come to us this year who were ready for their GED and just needed a little bit of help. And Sylvia has worked, and both of them are going to graduate. One of them already did graduate, and the other one's going to graduate in June. So just really able to provide some one-on-one coaching and tutoring and mentoring in a much smaller setting on their own terms and get them to where they need to go. So.
Go ahead. So I don't know why, I probably don't know enough to ask this question, but for a while when I was here, the issue of where students would get expelled to go to school was a bit of an issue. It was AOS, but that wasn't a great fit for a lot of reasons. Has there ever been is that still the case? And is there discussion about this being maybe an alternative or better option for that?
I do have at least one student who that is the case, and this can be an option for them. Yes.
Okay.
This is one of the 2 options that we offer families for expelled students, along with AOS.
Okay.
And the program that they have after school.
Good. Okay. That's good. I think that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
About how many students are we serving currently?
About 275.
And do you have a feel for what the upper limit capacity might be?
But they did 850. They just had to hire a whole bunch more teachers. So as long as you continue to hire staff,
So it's scalable.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. 300 is probably about where you start to hit your limits with the current staff we have, just the time and energy it takes to help all of them. But you certainly can scale it up with staff added for sure.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I think it helps that both of the staff members were in our brick and mortar schools, so
Yeah.
they know a lot about the secondary and the elementaries.
Yeah. Both of the staff members who were brought on are excellent. They spent time in our brick and mortar schools, and they've worked really hard this year to develop relationships. They're the ones doing the hard work. Like I said, I'm barely there just to help and put out fires when they need it, but they're the ones doing really great work with the school counselors, connecting with the other administrators, connecting with anyone and everyone they can find to try to get these kids support and to try to help them be successful. Yeah.
Can you go into just a little bit dual enrolled students? Where's the dual enrollment? What does that serve?
So students they can be served, typically then they're served at their boundary school and with us. So if they're dual enrolled, they may be doing part of their courses at their boundary school, whatever that may be, and then the other half are with us for whichever courses they need.
Do you know what maybe you guys, what percentage of the ADM gets chewed up by the infrastructure, by the technology, or the people we're buying from charge us? What percentage of the ADM does that take? Do you know?
In terms of the staff that we have?
No, not our staff. So what are the name? What's the name of the it's K-12, right?
12, and we have Edmentum.
Right,
So
so
how
how
much net positive are we still on?
Yeah, like if a kid's worth 10 grand, how much
Right.
how much are they charging us per kid? How much is K-12 charges per kid? Those are rough numbers, but is it 8? Is it 11?
No.
No,
Okay.
roughly 3,500,
Okay.
and then we
So there's a lot of wiggle
figure in the staffing that it costs. But we've been doing the numbers and looking at next year and figuring out, and we're still positive.
So it runs black, I
significantly.
guess, is where I'm getting.
We are in the positive.
Good. That was an issue when it first opened.
Right.
Yeah.
And part of the reason we offer the second option, it is different. It's more geared toward hybrid. It doesn't have as many so Amanda and Sylvia do a lot more of the teaching for those kids, and they're the teacher, and it is a little bit less expensive. The other option has full-time teachers, but they're all over the country. And so we offer those for those kids.
Okay.
So they are two very different models. One's geared towards more hybrid kids who just want a couple classes that Sylvia and Amanda can help with. The other's geared more towards kids who want to be fully online and want us just to provide the platform. They don't maybe want to see us as much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. Good. Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited because I feel like we've had some missed opportunities in this area for a while now, so.
Yeah. They've excellent staff, really, really helpful, lots of growth this year. And again, principals can be looking, we'll be seeing a survey in the next month from us asking what more can we do. We did as much as we could think of this year, but what more can we do? That's our biggest goal, is how can we better serve students we have, students we'd love to get back, families and staff, so.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we will move on to the consent agenda. I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Okay, it's been moved. Do I have a second?
All second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, consent agenda carries. Nothing under old business. No reports. New business, reduction in force. Ms. Orsborn. It's okay.
I was talking about the school and how great it is and the staff.
Understandable. At least you weren't on your phone.
Okay, so what did you want me to talk about first?
RIF. The RIF. We're on
Okay.
L.1.
Okay. So, so the reductions in force, you didn't need me to talk about the MOU or anything?
It was
They
consent.
approved
Okay,
it.
sorry. Reduction in force, we have 25 licensed teachers that include classroom teachers, deans, counselors, TOSAs, instructional coaches, and 3 administrator confidential, and 25 classified. And this is these positions cut or eliminated represent approximately 4% of each employee group. And we tried to keep it even between employee groups.
I just want to add, this is, the certified are the ones that require a notice to you and a determination prior to engaging in the work, which is why we're here tonight. The others are somewhat accurate, and we will be working on that. And finally, I would say this district led all of the local districts, the large districts in the valley, with a loss of students this last year of 4%. Right, so there is a correlation there.
And I want you to know that these are positions they don't have a person with them yet, and we will be working through the seniority list to do that, and we hopefully will have retirements and resignations that will make this even smaller.
Okay. Is it 4% by cost or by body? Must be by cost
On the,
on the reduction, or is it both?
4% of our FTE.
Of the FTE, okay, of the body,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah,
Okay, then I would entertain a motion to approve the reduction in force as presented.
I'll move to approve the reduction of force and positions as presented.
Okay, it's been moved. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, and so we're getting to the point now where we're talking about affecting real families and real positions as opposed to book positions that weren't filled yet. Is that true?
And I would tell you, we have 19 retirements or resignations in certified, and we're reaching that number in classified. But you remember, it's not one for one, because they have to have the right licensure and the right job title for classified, and they can't replace things out of area. But I'm hoping that by the end of the year, we'll hardly have anyone left on layoff.
That's always a concern to me, because you're starting to affect real families and real livelihoods, and none of us are up here enjoying having to do this. Unfortunately, we're in a position that Jane's laid out to us where we really have no choice, where we're in a position where we have a deficit and we have to be responsible with our money and try to get the best education for our students as we can with our available funds. So I'm heartened a little bit to hear that there's some retirements and other things that are going to reduce that impact. People are making some choices that are obviously in their best interest, and that's great. But where we make those choices where it does affect families, I always carry that heavy.
Absolutely.
All right, any other discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. All right, Mr. Bolin, you are up.
Yeah, just coming for you in this section is just the 3 projects that are over the $150,000 limit for board approval. So that's what we're asking for in this section.
And these are the ones you covered at the beginning of the meeting?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Just to clarify for everyone, this money is set aside in earmarked funds. They're not coming out of the general fund. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and so these are, cat tax money and,
Capital improvement funds and remaining bond funds.
okay, excellent.
I wanted to say your long-term plan to do with the turf fields in the future is a good one, so thank you for doing that. I wish we'd done it 10 years ago. I guess the other thing I'd like to recommend is you take a look at what we're charging the community to use that. I saw they have a lot of hours on it, and I don't know what we charge, but we ought to at least say, look, we're charging it, and we're putting this account because we're gonna have to redo the field, so it's not like we're just making money off our kids or in the community, but we do need to share the burden of taking care of the spot.
Yeah, about 2 years ago is when we first started collecting money from our facilities.
Okay.
And I think, Jane, correct me, I think we're in the neighborhood of a little over 100,000 each year that we're collecting.
Yes.
Okay.
And so it goes into an athletic capital projects fund.
Okay,
The rental receipts.
Okay, good. That's good to know. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the capital projects improvement.
I will motion to approve the capital budgets for improvements.
Okay, I have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we are on to surplus property. Again, Mr. Bull.
Yeah, the Lochner property, again, I have an executive summary here to you, and I will cover this briefly. This land was purchased, and I don't know the year it was purchased for the district. It's about 29 acres. It's been deemed that it's not a good spot for a school to be built on. It floods there quite often, a lot of wetlands, which is known in that area. So Annie and I have been working with the city to purchase a property off of Lochner and Ellingson, where they're putting in that new neighborhood and they want to put in a city park. They've reserved about 14 acres for us to purchase with the sale of this property. This property would be sold just like we did the bus barn, so we'll do sealed bids. We can reject all offers when they come in. We don't have to take the lowest one, so it'll follow that same process. So there's really no risk to us to go into a sealed bid. If we don't get good enough offers, we'll pivot and go a different pathway.
Dave, do we have a subject to sale agreement with the city of Albany? Have we come to an agreement on that 14 acres, or where does that stand?
Right now, we're just in conversation with them about the sale of this property. Andy may be able to add more detail to that.
So one of the things that will slow it down is the great difficulty in finding wetland offsets right now. Both of these properties are containing of wetland. And so my intention is to find out what the value is from the market on the first and offer that per acre on the second. So we don't have even a delineation. We have just discussed 12 to 14 acres that we would purchase there. And it does put a school site in the fastest growing part of the city.
And what size school would you anticipate would fit on a 14-acre parcel like that?
You could put an elementary school of 500 kids.
Well, okay. So it would have significant room to do kind of whatever you wanted to get
Yeah.
done at the time.
Yeah, okay. 2 stories. We've been on that model. Oak Grove and Meadow Ridge.
So at the end of the day, your goal would be, from a cash output standpoint, there'll be a net. It's not going to, ultimately won't cost any more extra money.
That's
The sale and the purchase will even out at least.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve the surplus property as presented.
Mr. Chair, I'll move to approve the surplus property sale as presented.
Okay, do I hear any seconds? Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? I guess the only thing I would add is that I don't know anything about selling and buying public property, but I assume you guys will learn, and you know it, and you'll make sure you do understand it, so it just.
We'll keep you aware of this process, accept our mistakes.
Yeah, there you go. All right, any further discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, that motion carries, and that takes us to other business. There's nothing on the agenda. So then we move on to comments from the public. While we are getting the comment from the public, sign-up sheet. Oh, that's not this. Do I not have a speech anymore? It's okay. I'll just give you the speech. Be respectful, follow the policies. I'll cut you off if you're being rude or attacking any of our staff.
Three
And
minutes.
you have 3 minutes.
Oh, yeah, 3 minutes.
That's a Clip Note version.
All right, okay. All right, first up is Roger Nyquist.
Welcome back.
Thank you, I think. Board members, Mr. Chairman, for the record, Roger Nyquist, 2896 Furwood Place in Albany. And I'm here tonight to acknowledge and thank Ryan Mattingly for his service on the board and to the community. Ryan, first, it was an honor to serve with you. You're an extraordinary person who's put in an extraordinary effort on behalf of kids and the district and this community. I mean, positive results. Decision makers are only as good as the information they have before them, and your serving and being there has made all of us better at what we do. So just incredibly grateful for your efforts, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much, and wish you all of the best in all that you do going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. Dana Lovejoy.
I point out that's probably a new world record for brevity.
All right. Dana Lovejoy, president of Greater Albany Education Association, on what started out as a wonderful night, and then we ended on kind of some heavy topics. But tonight, you discussed that elimination of 25 certified positions in our school district. These are not just numbers on a spreadsheet, these are humans who support our students every day. And as part of what makes our school places where students can learn, connect, and thrive. For months, we've heard about families choosing to send their children elsewhere, but we have not seen a clear, proactive plan for how GAPS will bring families back. It was awesome to hear about Ava as an option. I believe that each of you cares deeply about public education. 2 of you have dedicated your lives to that. And I don't know why the others of you would serve if you didn't care about public education. So that's why this moment matters so much. Cutting positions may balance a budget in the short term, but it risks weakening the very programs, relationships, and supports that draw families to our schools in the first place. If we want students to stay and return, we must invest in what makes our schools strong and not reduce it. Our community is looking for a vision, a plan, a commitment to building schools that families choose because they know their children will be supported and successful. I urge you to consider not just what we are cutting, but what we're building, and whether these decisions move us closer to the schools our students deserve. And also, just as a point of privilege, Ryan, we have appreciated your expertise in this role, and I wish you good luck in your next step of your journey.
Thank you. Okay. And Liz Craig.
Liz Craig, Greater Albany ACE. I'm going to try not to cry this time, be a little bit less caught off guard. I still think you were the best supervisor I ever had. You trusted us as professionals to guide and lead and grow our children. And a lot of people can learn from you and should learn from you for our students. I lied, I'm crying. Most of you may or may not know that sweet Skylar is my little cousin, and I honestly couldn't be more proud of a most resilient, amazing, positive human, and so shout out to you, bud, for all your hard work. You deserve it. Back to the hard topics that we were talking about today. I was pretty disappointed to learn about the number of RIFs the same way that the community learned. I was not given even a phone call, a 2-minute, hey, it looks like we're going to have to lay off 25 people. So that left me having to get very caught off guard and a flood of questions coming that I was not prepared for. So I just want to reiterate that we are looking for collaboration in these moments to support our staff, and I feel pretty let down in that moment. I also am a little disappointed what it feels like to me that these RIFs are so easily voted on when only hearing from one side, right? No one from the board has reached out to me to talk about that. I believe I can speak for Dana that no one's reached out to her to talk about what's happening to the people in our community. These are our folks. Dana and I have been elected to these positions to support our humans so that they can support our students. Again, another space that I feel we are still lacking in that collaboration piece. I've brought it up so many times in listening sessions, in emails that don't get responded to. We are seeking collaboration. and we are wanting that. Our families deserve it, our staff deserve it, and I don't know how else to advocate that we need to be a team in every way for our students. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Forgot to mention, we did have a online comment, and I read it, and I'm trying to remember what it said. It said something,
Recommendation for lunch on the last day of
that's right,
school.
stock lunches on the last day of school, which I was a little surprised because I didn't realize we didn't serve lunch on the last day of school, but that makes sense that we don't. Somebody wanted to provide, a fifth grade teacher wanted to know why we don't, if we could provide stock lunches on the last day of school. So the answer is, I don't know. Is that a question for our food service people?
We're looking into it.
You're looking into it. That's what I wanted to hear.
Appreciated the comment. We're looking into it, yeah.
Excellent. Appreciate the comment, and we're looking into it. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Okay, then we have no more public comment. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Thank you again, Ryan.
Mr. Chairman, with sadness, and gonna miss you, buddy, I'd like to make a motion to end tonight's meeting.
Okay, so I hear a second.
I'll second that.
All right, so moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, we are adjourned. Bang on the gavel.